to go.
Somebody in the chat box is saying, can you take us through the DAD application portal?
I don't think that it's not something big deal. It's you're not basically doing anything there rather than application. So what I have advised is I will not be able to do this. I will not be able to do this at this time. So it's a process that's extremely easy and simple. Just follow the instructions. Okay, just follow the instruction. And maybe if you now have a difficulty while following this, for example, somebody reached out to me today. I was asking, what CV did I submit? What's it called? Is it error pass or so? I said the answer I gave to her basically was, see, just follow the instruction. If that says submit a CV using error pass, then that is what you should do. It is also what I did last year. Okay, so basically follow whatever they are request, and the processes are as easy as anything. So don't be. A lot of people will be scared. No, don't be scared. Just, if you can get PTDF, you can get that. So it's not if like you register, you all went through the PTDF processes, registered and did everything. So it's not really a big deal. So it's a process you can actually do entirely on your own. But having said that, if you have difficulty or challenge in the process, you can basically drop it in our group and maybe mention me on it. Then I would answer. Okay, or any of the German WhatsApp group where you are. You can drop your challenge there. Myself or any other person could basically attend to you. All right. Okay. Next one,
Okay,
please.
somebody else is asking about English proficiency. Her choices, or his choices of school has been limited by English proficiency because he or she does not have the certificates, and requires your advice on that.
Okay, I had the same. There were schools I wanted to, but I was not ready to start sitting for IATF or start sitting for TOEFL. Move. There are a lot of schools in Germany that don't need that. But if you want that school in particular, then go and take your IATF or TOEFL. You still have time.
Okay. Can you provide some specifics that can make one stand out for the DAT scholarship? Are there any specifics to be provided?
Is there really specifics? I don't think so. One thing I would sincerely is that there are no specifics because every other person who didn't also get it, like I've applied. My take every time is this, and I won't shy away from saying this: put your best foot forward always. Don't relent. Don't say it's not big deal. Like we are not. Just see this. Just see yourself at this point like you don't have any scholarship yet, and put in all your best foot forward and be prayerful. I think that's all. I can't really point out to and say, okay, there was something I did in particular that I can say, okay, it was because I did this way. No, I just put my best foot forward and prayed and was hopeful. So nothing more. All right. I think that's all.
Okay, how do you submit? How does one submit a recommendation letter? I think that applies to the DAD scholarship as well. The
How do you
person didn't
submit
specify. Yeah, the person
that?
just said, how do you submit recommendation letter?
Whatever process you want to take, it's on that portal. Okay, it's on that portal. But I think there are two ways. I don't know if anything has changed now. There are two ways basically. I think there's this model of maybe you put in the email addresses of the people who wants to recommend you. That yeah, I think they have that. Maybe that will send a link to them to fill and send to you. That's one. I think we also had the option. Yeah, I think we had that option. We also had the option of on PTDF portal. On PTDF portal, there's a place for, I think, recommendation letter also, whereby you can upload the recommendation letter directly on PTDF portal and they can pick it up from there. But please just confirm these two. I think those were the two things that happened last year. Yeah, those are the two options that we had last year. Well, you can basically confirm. Another thing you can do is that at this point, whatever PTDF, I think the combined groups of you are in that combined that scholars, German scholars group. Any challenge you have, just drop it there. Like, not necessarily me, myself, or any other person there can basically provide any help to you. So if you have a challenge, don't just hold it to yourself and don't speak out, speak out. And if you are in Amount group, my boss group, drop it. Like myself or any other dart scholar there will basically attend to it. All right. So that's not a problem at all. Okay, please go on, sir.
If I apply for visa and eventually get that, will it speed up my visa appointment or will I have to apply again?
No, it will speed it up. Immediately you get a dart, immediately you become a dart scholar, you're a big boy. So embassy too is waiting for you. So basically to speed up, if you become a dart scholar, it speeds up everything. So one thing that, okay, let me say this again. There are two categories in scholar in what's it called, visa application. I think there's category A and category B. For category A, the first requirement for category A is that one of the criteria is that you must either be a scholar on the awardee of a German government scholarship. So not necessarily that, it could be Erasmus and whatever, but it must be from German government. So if you have anything of such, I think you immediately come to category A visa. And that is, I think, first class. You must be a first class student within maybe 2 years or something. It's always short. Basically, somebody who is a recent graduate. And the third one is that the person must be a PhD scholar. So if you're a PhD candidate going to this, you immediately also come to category A. So that's why it's easy for PhD candidates who don't even have that to even travel to travel fast. You understand? So they don't have that. They have PTDF, but because they are PhD candidate, they can immediately just go to Germany. Okay, so that's it. Go on, please.
Okay. I currently manage my business. Please, what do I upload in the employment letter space?
Ah, okay. The reason is I may not be in the best position to answer this. Fortunately for me, I was like working. I was working in a company, so I didn't have a business. So I don't know. Maybe you can drop that in the group. Maybe people who have similar experiences can maybe share. Another thing is that can you reach out to these things are not something written in what's it called? And you could also use your I don't know. So I don't know. I've not gone through that route. Drop it in the group. But one thing I'm looking at is that I think there are two ways you could go about it. Just suggestions, basically. Maybe you could reach out to somebody. Possibly, whatever you are doing now may not even the business where you are now may not have anything in relation to your what's it called your studies. I guess that, for example, I have a business. I'm selling shoe, and I'm a civil engineer. So how does shoe selling and masters in civil engineering? What do they have together? So presenting that like, okay, I'm selling shoe, I own a shoe business. These people are more here at home. We could be jack of all trades basically. But here they want a consistency. Okay, you finish from so course, you are working in an industry, a company that is related to what you are doing, or you are coming to do a master that's in relation to what you study. So that's why you can't just move from one master's program into just any master that does not have any connection to what you have done in the past. I have noticed that about them. So, and that could be one criteria they be considering. What you could do basically is that if it's not really in line, you can look for, maybe you reach out to people who have similar company, okay, who could maybe just do something for you. If that would help. Maybe you have a friend who runs a company, or a company you have worked before and you have good relationship with them. You can reach out to the HR also and say this is the challenge you currently have, if they could help. So they could come up with something for you. All right. So those are the things. But you can also drop it in the group if anybody have similar experience and how they went about it. All right. So let's go.
Yeah, I think you have answered this one severally, but just for asking sake, please, if I don't get that and go to Germany via the blocked account route, can I still apply again for the subsequent that scholarship while still studying in Germany?
100% yes. Next one.
Since you advise us to explore our courses and not to be rigid, can an industrial chemistry student explore the field of engineering, like process engineering or biomedical engineering? Can the person survive it?
But now, exploring also is dependent on you. So when I said explore, you also have to look at your strength. Is this something you want to do? Exploring is just, for example, I'll be taking machine learning. I'll be taking courses in machine learning. I'll be taking courses in AI. Yes, I'll be taking Python. Like, so it's a challenge I'm waking up for me, and because I'm seeing the prospects. For me, I'll also it's also tied to your career plan basically. So what do you intend to do afterwards? for somebody like me, I've zeroed my mind. I will not be going back to the field. Like I'm not going back to one construction site to work. So I'm not seeing myself doing that in the coming years. I've done that in the past, but I don't see myself at this place doing that in the coming years. So I'm trying to look for a course or a discipline that really puts me in that where I have such where I have such leverage to make such career decisions of not going back to the field. Okay. And I'm also doing this because I also want to, I'm also looking for a course that gives me option. So with whatever training I go through in school, I could decide to move to tech completely. Yeah, I could decide to move to tech completely. So consider those. Your career plan basically determine whatever course. But if it's somebody who really wants to do something in civil engineering at all costs, I could just have picking anything related, structures, highway, or whatever, and have moved on. And nothing is wrong about it. I'm not saying anything is wrong about you deciding to follow whatever you want to follow. I'm just showing you this aspect of opportunities here that some of you may not know about. But if it's not something you are interested in, or you think I don't think I can really explore this, it's absolutely fine. There's no crime at all. All right.
Is it a must to submit an academic reference for master's scholars?
Who is asking you that? This school or that?
The person didn't specify.
So it depends. If your what's it called? If your school is asking for that as part of your application process, whatever your school is asking for, please provide. Whatever that is asking for, please provide. So school application varies. Different application. Some schools are not asking for TOEFL and are not asking for TOEFL. While some other schools are asking for it. So you have to consider the whole of those ones also. So your schools should determine that whatever your school is asking for, provide it, and whatever that is asking for, kindly provide it to them also. Next one,
Okay,
please.
I have first class and my certificate reads 2022. Can I still apply for category A visa by next year, 2025?
I think in your own case, you can even start earlier because you come to category. But one thing I think you need to do is that you need to get admission fast. And you can basically, I think for you, you actually have your case is like your case is like a what's it called? Your case is like a PhD case. You are in category A, so you can even move before every other person if you want to. So you can move like every other. So that have PTDF have to fund your block account. But because with your first class, and that's just like 2 years, 2022, that's just like last year. No, 2 years ago. I think yeah, that immediately brings you to category A. So the only thing you need now is that you need your admission, and you also need funding from that. Funding from that is not a big deal. If you have your admission, that is right. So if you have a PTDF rather, if you have your admission, then you just upload it on PTDF portal. Then you can go ahead with the funding while you book your appointment at the while you book your appointment. When you book your appointment in Lagos, I think it just take like 4 weeks for them to give you a date, and you are good. But if you decide to say, okay, I want to go with that, then you can just wait for the entire that process. Another thing is that you could also be juggling the two. So when you get to Germany and you eventually get that, then you can also come on board to that, and maybe you have to refund the PTDF or something.
Okay. The next question says, what courses would you recommend for MSc Civil Engineering? I think you can, the individual asking this, you can go to the internet and play around with your choices, or probably reach out to one or two contacts. You have a robust network of PTDF scholars here that you can talk to as regards their choices in civil engineering. What main points should a winning motivation letter contain? Can you please give me examples of these points? That's
Let me answer that.
okay.
So there's a star model. I think I've talked about this. I've talked about this for so long, but let me just quickly buttress it for you. I have a model which I've adopted. I think it has really worked for me, and this is it. See it like there's a problem. There's a problem. What you do to the problem is that you beam spotlight on the problem. Let me give you a very practical example. The road to your house is extremely bad. The road to your house is extremely bad. So how do you paint it bad? This road is bad. We've had accident on this road. A family has lost their means of livelihood. 7 out of every 10 cars that applies this road always have accidents. So you lace it up with statistics and data to show how terrible the situation is. After you have done that, the next phase of this is that what have you been able to do? So you can say, okay, with my bricklaying knowledge, I've been able to patch some part of the road in the past. But when you give me opportunity now of going and studying civil engineering, I will be able to use that knowledge now to build a bridge. Or if you give me, so if you give me this scholarship now to go for highway engineering, I'll be able to build a standard road here. Can you see the flow? There's a problem. In my little capacity in the past, this is what I've been able to do. So this scholarship now is just like this scholarship you are giving me now would empower me to be able to do more than whatever I've been able to do in the past. Shaking. The problem, how do you now project the problem? Data, statistics. So you lace it with data and statistics, and you are good to go. Nothing more. It's just and that model has basically worked for me. All right. I hope that helps
Okay.
you. Or you can check the STAR model. Just type the STAR model of writing motivation letters online. So you'll find your way around that.
Okay. Somebody says you throw more light on consistency in experiences. What if you have changed roles or your work across different fields?
One thing I've seen about these people, and I think a lot of people have also could testify to that. Why here we are comfortable with okay, I was doing civil engineering, I moved to Yoruba knowledge, then I now moved to theater arts. Then those may be extreme examples though, but they want this consistency. For example, let me give you an instance of consistency. Okay, possibly maybe I did statistics in my what's it called? Maybe I did okay. Let me give example of consistency. Maybe I did uh survey in my ND. I came to HND. I did maybe did survey again in my distance. So I moved from survey. I did BSc in civil engineering. So and I want to do masters now in maybe technology, information technology for built environment. Can you see the consistency? In the same industry, different role, but you could see the consistency. Geoinformatics, surveillance geoinformatics to civil engineering, same industry, because it has application. Then from there, now I'm now looking at learning about technology to solve problem in the entire built industry. So those are something that is quite important to them that I've noticed. So if you are coming from too extreme, like you've been doing something in marketing, and you want to do something in engineering, those things doesn't really sit well with them. And that's what I've noticed. All right.
Okay, somebody is asking if you have less than 2 years work experience, and within the less than 2 years work experience, you have had to juggle more than one job. Do you stand a chance of being considered for that scholarship?
Absolutely. But at the
Okay.
job, one thing you push forward, push. I think I would advise this: just push job forward that are in line that are in line with. I know, like Survivor, we want to at this point when you move from job to job, basically, it's for Survivor. So, but they are looking at somebody who is building a career. So their focus is more of career based. Like the example I just gave, now it's more of career based. So maybe I moved for civil engineering. I went to be selling shoe, worked in a shoe making industry. Then maybe did something selling recharge card, and like they want. That's the point I'm trying to make with consistency. Okay, but you could also another way is that if you could find a way of tying whatever you have been able to, you deviated from your course, whatever you have been able to do, how if you can find a way of relating into your background, I think that would also help. Okay, but notwithstanding, see, I'm not the final judge in the whole of these processes. Okay, so just giving an advice, but just put your best foot forward always. Okay.
Opportunities available for me in Germany if I complete my master's studies there. There are opportunities everywhere. France, Malaysia, Germany, UK, anywhere you find yourself, there are opportunities. Just put yourself out there. If one doesn't have faith in having that, would you advise we should start our visa application now for a blocked account?
Why are
Or
you writing yourself out immediately? You have not even done that. You've not even submitted. You're already writing yourself out.
people of little faith?
No, Abana, try first now before you start giving off immediately. That you don't. Okay, don't do that to yourself, because if you do this to yourself, it won't allow you put your best foot forward. Okay, just take the process one by one. All right. But you still need to get admission before you can even be able to start saying you are requesting for funding. You are requesting for funding from PTDF, so you need to get admission also.
So, guys, if your question or something similar to your question has been asked, please drop your hand. We are encroaching into the third speaker's time, which is not so appropriate. So, if a similar question has been asked or is not so much of a pressing thing, you can revert to the group, and I'm sure people will attend to your questions. Can AI be used to rephrase or paraphrase motivation letters?
Sure, you can. But just do it wisely. You can. It's a tool to be used now. It's no big deal.
Okay, so I think the person who asked the question with the first class reading 2022 on the certificate says the certificate will be 3 years old in 2025 and does not have admission yet. And from the German visa portal, the person's certificate should not be older than 2 years. So the person is skeptical about qualifying for a category A.
Whatever they say there, it's whatever it is. So if they say you are no longer qualified, you are no longer qualified. You said your certificate is older now. Like you said 2 years initially, and what they said on their portal is that it shouldn't be older than 2 years.
2 years.
And you said it is 2 years. Is that not English? So it means you qualified, or am I getting it wrong?
Well, the person says it will be 3 years by 2025. So the person may qualify for it now, this year, but may not qualify for it next year
Okay.
as
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He does not even have admission. Yeah. I think I get
yes.
his. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I get. I used to get admission in any school. Don't worry. Just apply for that and move on. No big deal. No big deal. You have time, so there's no point pressuring yourself. It's fine.
Okay, guys, for those of you who have asked your questions here, Scholar Shina will be in the chat to answer them very briefly. Please, once he answers, don't go and create a question and answer tray for him, please, so that you can pay attention to the next speaker. Those whose hands are still up, Ibrahim, please talk. Please unmute and talk. I can see you first appearing here. Ibrahim. Ibrahim Shehu. Okay. Keziah, if you're available, please unmute and talk.
Good evening. I don't know if you can hear me.
Loud and
Yes,
clearly.
I can hear you.
Yeah. Good evening. Thank you for your time. I just want to get an advice on something. I had my first degree in petroleum engineering, but I have my working experience in finance. I would have loved to go into petroleum economics and finance, but I hardly find schools that offer that. So my other choice would be renewable energy. So I wanted to know what you think about that based on
It's
what
fine.
you talk about experience and it relating to
It's not.
your
Well, this is it. It's these things are not written in. I think what's it called? Finance and the likes is more of a UK thing. I was seeing those courses in UK. So my chairman can confirm that. I think you guys are
Yeah.
more. Yeah, I think you have a lot of schools doing that. But although because I'm not interested in that line. I did not do any research in regards to that. And are you sure you really checked? I did not say
um I
related.
well I know that particular course. Yes, you see a lot of things in petroleum engineering. I know
Okay.
I saw only one school that I think TU cluster that has
Okay.
petroleum engineering, but I haven't seen anything in petroleum economics and finance. It's usually France and UK that I saw more
These people don't
of
like
those.
money. And they're just doing book. Okay, I think we should do. There's nothing wrong. I don't think there's anything. There's anything wrong, basically. Okay?
For me
Just
to
find
go with renewable energy?
you can if that's what interests you.
O-
You can. But
Okay.
one thing you should always do is this. This is all about storytelling. Find a
Okay.
way to tie wherever you are coming from to where you are going.
Okay.
For now,
Thank
let me ask you a question so we don't really waste spend so much time on this. Does finance has any application to renewable energy?
Finance always has an implication to the energy industry in
Beautiful.
general.
So by
So
the time you
yeah.
are writing your motivation letter, try to tie your current career experience, tie it to your background in this and why you have decided at this time. Don't tell them because you don't have the course in Germany. No. Tell them why you have now decided to go into this line.
Okay.
I think that settles it.
Okay. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
yeah. Because for me also, just to buttress that, for me, if I've told anybody I want to do something in tech as a civil engineer, you would not even be able to see, you will not be able to see any how will I put it, any meeting point between building bridges and talking about tech. They don't have anything in common. But because I really understand where the industry was heading to and the like, so I was able to tie my motivation letter together. That makes it quite okay. The person understands this person is on a journey. And it makes it quite easy. It's basically storytelling.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Very much.
find out that point of intersection between those disciplines, and that's it.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Let's take our